What's going on, everybody? Jerry here with 3DHP, and it is done. The Mandalorian trophy, 250% scale. Years ago, when I first got my CR10 back in 2017, I went over in my mini factory. The designer, his name is Paul Braddock. I'll show you a picture here in just a minute, but he had some amazing files. This is just one of them. The Mandalorian trophy. Here's a small one that I done way back in the day. Has a little base for it. I just went and grabbed this out of a box out of the spare room. And then I was over at my son's house the other day visiting, and I remembered this that my son has on the shelf. The big one there, it's all silver. That was done in Tyance filament. And there's a Monster Energy drink for scale. There's a little one next to it I just showed you looking up at it. I had done that. I'm like, you know what? I need to reprint that. I got the Sovol SV8. This is such a cool printer, and for the most part, it prints great. I have had a few problems here and there with different filament, but it loves Polymaker filament. Almost no issues at all with Polymaker, and I'm currently using Polyterra filament. And you can see I have the yellow there. Well, why do I have the yellow? Well, I had to do the antenna yellow. I started out with the green down below. That's a full roll of filament, and then I had some black Polyterra, and that's a full roll of black. The spool was almost empty, not enough left to do the antenna. So I loaded up the third roll so I could do the antenna. This is a hollowed file. He has a couple versions of the file. He's got a hollowed version, a non-hollowed version. Then he has a big base you can print also. I chose not to print the base at this time for this particular helmet. I may in the future. I'm not really sure if I will. I may hang this on the wall, put it on the shelf. But I've always wanted to do this large scale, and I had completely forgot about it, to tell you the truth. So I was out, my son's like, hey, wait a minute. I remember that. I want to do that. That is so cool. But when you come over to my mini factory, it's called a Mandalorian Trophy by Paul Braddock. He has different ones he's done. He's got a Stormtrooper. He's got this one. He might have a couple others. I can't really remember. And I used Orca Slicer to slice everything. There's the antenna there at 250% scale in Orca Slicer. My layers on this were 6 top layers, 4 bottom, 4 perimeter with 5% infill. And let me change camera angles here and I'll show you what the inside of it looks like. But I did have a small layer shift, which I'll show you here in just a second. Okay, we've got the file helmet moved over here on the desk. And as you can see, I have a line right here. And that's a very small layer shift. It's enough I can peel it with my fingernail. And it goes most of the way around, and then it kind of disappears. Well, I can barely peel it over here. So there's a very slight shift. You can see it right here, which is really a bummer. I wanted this to print perfect, and it was doing so well. Kind of hard to see on the eye sockets, but you can kind of see it right there. There's a real slight layer shift. Now, once I paint this and prime it and paint it, I can sand that out. But as it sits, it had a slight shift. Why? I have no idea. Sometimes the 3D printing, these things just happen. But when it comes to the bottom, here's what I mean by hollowed. I used organic supports, which was around the perimeter on the bottom. I'll show you a picture here on the screen. And then I broke off all that I could, but you can see up inside there was basically hollow. It's got some really thick layers. But yeah, it's very cool. Love it. Full scale. I maxed it out in the build volume. I could have went probably slightly bigger, but you know, I usually go 200%, 225, 250, 275 increments like that. And 250, you know, took up most of the build plate. Looked really good. That dent's supposed to be there. Beautiful helmet. Wonderful work by Paul Braddock. Amazing sculptor. Go over to my mini factory, check out his work, download all the things. And thank you to all my wonderful channel members and channel subscribers and people that watch me on my socials, on Twitch and on YouTube, that helped me buy this amazing Sovol SV8. I'll list all their names here on the screen. I had sold my Prusa Mini to a friend online, mailed him the Prusa Mini. I took that money, put it towards a purchase of the Sovol SV8, along with all the people you'll see here on the screen, took donations. They helped me buy it. It's been a great printer. I've had a few problems with different filaments here and there, and, you know, which you've seen in the past on socials, but for the most part, it prints very well. There is a small spacer that I had to print that my friend Kenny had told me about. I put on the hot end so that this little bearing doesn't move out of place. Not that mine was, but once I printed that part, it's basically been printing perfect ever since. I need to fix the filament runout sensor, but it is doing great. Just thought I'd make a quick little video, share it with you guys. But yeah, check this out. And Halloween is among us. It's almost Halloween. Well, anyway, Halloween is year-round at my house, you know, like with most people. Halloween is here to stay, and always, you know, you can always print Halloween, cool Halloween type items year-round, but this thing is heavy. We got 2 rolls of film in here. Like I say, Polymaker, Polyterra. Printed wonderful, except for that layer shift right here going around it. But please like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And until then, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what cool stuff you're working on. Love to hear it. Everybody have an awesome day. And keep making all the cool stuff. Later.